Did you miss me?
Hi, audio listeners. Welcome to the Num Dum Pod. We realized that you listen to podcasts to get smart. But here's one podcast that'll make you feel smart.
We talk about everything under the sun and we hope to become permanent ear crawlers in the background score of your lives. Hello and welcome back, listeners. We're back after a very short period of time.
Did you miss me?
I think they forgot about us.
That's really sad. Bro, we also saw a drop in our follow account.
Yeah.
Whoever has unfollowed us.
Please follow us back.
Please follow us back.
Please.
And I do not promise, but I will really try that we are. I take personal responsibility
For Num consistency. There's no justification for not being consistent, but
There's a justification for our absence.
yes, and that was because we were traveling. And before we were traveling, we were also like trying to get our I was also trying to get my documents in order so that
And
I can
was
travel.
trying to figure a way to stay afloat in this economy.
Oh, but before we get to the travel stories and all of that, I really need our audiences to know what's going on. And I don't know if it's just West Bengal or it's going on in other states as well with this entire passport thing. Like anyone I've spoken to outside the state doesn't really like say that they've faced the same thing, but it seems to be more recent because even people who got their passports renewed like
I think
3
it's
months.
just you. Because I also got my passport
Dude, you
renewed
got your passport renewed
last year.
But even people who got them renewed 3 months back did not face this issue. But
So
apparently
it's you.
it's a new thing. Because
It's a new thing. It's not a new thing.
if any of you are getting your passports renewed, please make sure you have like at least a month's time
Our
before
listeners
you're
from
gonna
West
travel.
Bengal. If you're listening.
And your passport renewal is due. There is an extra step to the process of police verification
No one cares.
that is required now. Your passport is going to go to the election commission and then it's going to come back. So it's going to take a longer period of time, which will be very frustrating if you're
Which will-
stuck in West Bengal.
Which would still be less than the time you're taking to narrate this story. What's happening? Hassan Rahim got married. How is your heart dealing with it?
I'm very heartbroken.
Why? You
And
thought you'll
I'm-
get married to Hassan Rahim?
No, I just thought that, but I was really very happy seeing the wedding pictures. They're like a dopamine rush. You see them on your reels, and it's just, I want to cry.
Dude, he's danced so much on his wedding, bro. He looks very happy. Best wedding content that you see is the ones where the main participants are very
happy. Yeah. And there were also a lot of these reels where they're like Hassan Rahim ne apne dance mein thodi shadi ghusa li. Like they just speak to like how everyone is seeing his happiness, and it's just very beautiful.
Got married to his cousin. How's your heart dealing with
Oh, Zalima. Zalima.
I culturally
yeah,
it makes sense
makes
for
sense.
them for them. But yeah,
We're not used to it, so it initially
as Indians.
as
but
Indians.
our listeners from Gilgit Baltistan.
Please tell us if it was a Valima or a Shalima.
We are very confused.
Yeah, and my vote is for Valima.
I am confused.
I have a logic behind it because Walid means either husband or father. So then Valima also must mean something.
Our listeners from Gilgit Baltistan, please let us know. What does Walid? 1. What does Walid mean? 2. What was the second?
If it was a Valima or
Or
a
Valima or a Shalima.
Because Instagram's just left us
But
confused.
both of them were looking so gorgeous.
Yeah, it was just a very beautiful sight to see, and I didn't know Hassan Rahim was such a good dancer as well. Like, of course, we're all fans of his music, but he was.
But I don't think it was about like his
good
skill
dancing.
rather.
Like,
It's
I don't know,
your
just-
crush painting him to be the best dancer you have ever seen. But yeah, he was happy. That was
really
what
happy.
was. Yeah.
But yeah,
What
that's
else?
more recent. But the fact that, like, I think this is also giving us a dopamine rush because there's nothing else to hold on to right now. We're back
Vinny,
from our
this is
trip.
not a therapy session.
I'm gonna treat it as one. I'm sorry. I need something to hold on to.
But yes, we went on a trip to Bali. We have been not planning but talking about taking a trip to Bali for the past 3 months, but we never seem to plan a trip.
Yeah, and which is very unlike the
Us.
trip us because we usually plan our trips out very well and we know what we're going to be doing, etc. But with Bali, we were just taking a
We
chance.
winged it. Everything else, mostly people would feel that it's a little bit offbeat, but Bali was too commercial for us. We were like, we'll ace it. And I think we did ace it.
Yeah, we were literally going out 3 times in a day with 3
was
different
so
outfits.
tiring.
It was insane amount of, and it didn't even feel like effort then. But now when I think of it, I'm not going to be doing that in Bombay.
I'm not going to do that ever, I think.
So yeah, we did a very mainstream trip, but it was a lot of fun. And the first thing we noticed once we reached Bali was the fact that it was very, very similar to Goa, except for like better crowds and food. Goa also has good food, so probably.
I think I have a theory about Bali.
What's your theory about Bali?
Bali is a very palatable version of India, or what India stands for white people.
Why?
So India is extremely chaotic, like we all know that, and there are many places and many different cultures and different people and everything, but people come over here to find solace or whatever. They come to find good food, they come to find their spirituality, and Bali offers all of that without the wildness of India. So I feel it's a very palatable, like I get the
Charm
of Bali for white people, that it's very, even the spiritual aspect of it, or how you, basic things about how you reach that place. First of all, the facilities are slightly better, like the roads and everything are slightly better than India. I'm not saying they're great for someone coming from a first world country.
I get it. Like, what you're saying does make sense because remember we crossed a lot of these places where they were doing henna hand painting and it was like it's a craft from India, and the fact that they are
didn't
not
say it was a
it was written in one of the billboards. So it's like they don't deny the fact that they're picking things out of Indian culture, but they're making it so much more palatable.
Yeah. Don't you think that's also a kind of cultural appropriation where you're selling Indian tourism but boosting your economy?
Yeah, but I feel like probably it might not be cultural appropriation because
Their culture is also
there because Balinese Hindu culture. We went to one of these Balinese temples also, and they also visit similar gods, and there are similarities in the way the puja is done as well. So probably it's just like they've found a way to blend.
I mean, a lot of cultural similarities with henna and yoga.
Even palm reading, like the Eat, Pray, Love place is so famous in Ubud. Everyone's like, all the white people are flocking there, and even some of the Indian influencers now. But palmistry is an Indian,
and they mention it also.
Yeah,
that
they do mention.
They've taken it, like the roots lie in India. But if you're too scared of visiting India,
just come to Bali.
Did who was that actress in Sarah Jessica Parker in Eat, Pray, Love?
Julia Roberts.
Julia.
How can you? Julia Roberts is Eat, Pray, Love. Like she's remembered.
So did she visit India?
Yeah, for Pray. For Eat, she went to Italy.
So she went to Bali.
To Bali, she went for love. Where she met that guy.
She went to Javier Bardem.
Yeah, Javier Bardem. Eat, she went to Italy.
So did you
and
meet your Javier Bardem?
I just met pizzas.
You have eaten. I have seen you eat in Italy.
Yeah, and then immediately
there was a lot of praying where you come from, where you are.
So I think we did our Eat, Pray in
we
love.
only eat and pray. Mindy's
Bali
love
itself.
is also eat.
So yeah, like that movie could have just been Eat Pray.
Eat, pray, eat.
And
Yeah, dude, such great pizzas we had.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the people who recommended us great places because we've had lovely food in Bali.
Beautiful food. Like, and anyone who's thinking as a vegetarian going to Bali, it might be difficult. It's not difficult. You'll get great food and you'll get veg options everywhere except brunch places, probably.
Why?
Remember 7 a.m., 7 p.m.
But I don't. The thing
That was
is
also like a communication thing more than the fact that they.
yeah, communication, and I also feel they really put in effort to understand what we don't eat, what we eat, and they were very like, I also felt they were apologetic about the fact that they didn't have a large spread for vegetarians. They did serve us. We got two dishes, I think. Places in Italy or places in Europe, or I'm guessing even the United States of America, even if they have one or two things that are vegetarian friendly in their fare, they're not apologetic about it. But these guys were really nice about serving us and apologetic about the fact that they didn't have many options to give us.
Yeah, which is why, like, I think in terms of people, we had a very dichotomous experience in Bali. Like, all these restaurant owners and cafe owners and all of the people we interacted within the sphere of the commercial part of the islands was all good. But the moment you are in a crisis, that happened to us on the last day of the trip, there
The
was so
taxi
much
mafia.
the taxi mafia. There was so much misinformation at the ferry stop where we were all waiting, huddled together, waiting to get onto the ferry, and misinformation being spread that ferries are getting cancelled.
I
and all
think
of
that was just one tragic event, and let's spotlight the tragic event. Basically, a day before we were supposed to leave one of the islands, a boat capsized and 2 tourists had died. And Bali is not the strictest with their laws, so the next day all the ferries were cancelled back to the mainland, and we had our ferry booked for that day, and unfortunately we were flying out of Bali back to India the next day, so we had to
reach
make
mainland.
it that day to the mainland, and it was just a tragic event. They were trying to monetize, like, the locals, and it may come across as I'm trying to bitch about the tourism industry in Bali. And from morning till the next day, early morning when we reached, no local really made it a point to make it easier for
The
us
tourists,
to
exactly.
get through this tragedy.
And exactly, like, you feel like this place is run on tourism,
Yeah.
and you would expect more empathy. I feel like, shout out to Gility and like even the horse carts at Gility, no one was trying to monetize the opportunity. There were delays, yes, but then they were charging the same amount of money they would charge on any other day. There was a lot of frenzy on the island, and even the ferry ticket counters and all. No one was trying to monetize the opportunity. The only helpful people that day we found were the people at
The
Gility.
ferry,
Yeah. So once we left that place, it was all just chaos, and it was really crazy to get back to mainland. And at the end, to top it all off, the taxi mafia really
They
ruined
almost
the whole.
harassed us.
Yeah, they ruined
followed
the
us.
experience for us. This one guy was following us on his bike no matter how far we walked from the port. And this was Padang Bai, for whoever has been to Bali and know about the taxi mafia. We tried to book a Gojek. They threatened the Gojek driver that he cannot pick us up, and the Gojek driver literally texted us that I'm being threatened to not pick any passengers.
He drove past us.
And he waved that I'm not gonna stop, like, I'm sorry. And then we booked another Grab, and the only reason that it worked out for us was because that
He
car
had some
was-
inside connections.
Yeah, some inside connections with the mafia. But this one guy, and it's not even broad daylight. This is 3 a.m. in the morning when we were at the port. And the taxi mafia made it really difficult for everyone on that boat, knowing that all of these people are desperate to get back to the mainland because of some reason or the other. So yeah, whatever, like, all of
But
that
this was
aside.
one part of the
Exactly.
experience. Yes, this was difficult to get through, but we also had great experiences in Bali.
And let's come to the great experiences now. Enough of mopping.
So one crowd favorite was Taman Beji waterfall,
my
which honestly I had no expectations from. Like I just felt that we're wasting our time and money over there. But surprisingly, it was decent.
Fun. Like I had a lot of fun.
Fun.
Whatever I've seen of rituals, they are, you do them because you're supposed to do them, but none of them are fun. Like the fact that you walk through a waterfall, like from cracks inside rocks and all, it just makes it more fun. You're doing the same things.
I
but
think
it's-
that's the charm of tourism. They sell spirituality well, or like whatever they call spirituality.
Yeah.
Because the package we took was water purification.
yeah, just the basic one. It was,
Did you feel purified?
I think I'm very pure, and after the lymphatic drainage, I felt like Kareena Kapoor as well. So, like soul purified and then face drained. It was just wonderful to be me.
What is this lymphatic drainage you're talking about?
Oh, so we used to put rubber bands around our ears when we were in the car.
Oh yeah, Malaika Arora Khan. I saw one reel of Malaika Arora Khan where she would put a rubber band around her, and it's apparently a Chinese or a Korean thing. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that you tie your ear with a rubber band, and then that presses some of the limbs under your ears, and which is why like you get a more snatched look, which is why you thought you were Kareena.
Yeah, just for a moment. I just had to get out of the car and open my front camera again.
Why you were doing that in the car also?
In the car, I felt like Kareena Kapoor. Khan. Ki beti. Ka beta.
Ibrahim. Please
My
don't
head is
start
filled
with
with
your
brain
brain rot. Ibrahim Ali Khan.
Back to
Taman Beji.
Taman Beji. So this was, for people who haven't visited, this was a spirituality come Hindu ritual where there were a lot of rock carvings of idols that they worship, and you had to put offerings at every stage and then pray, and then at one point you were taken to a waterfall area where one side of the waterfall you would literally just shout to release all of your negative energy. And once you're done with that, once you feel you've relieved it, and then you just bring out all the happy energy, you can sing and dance and all. We danced on Nannare.
Yeah, because it was a waterfall.
Yeah.
How Bollywood of us.
So that was one highlight. The other one, I think, was this
I
one.
liked ATV also.
Yeah,
ATV
she really
ride.
enjoyed ATV.
Vinny was really uncomfortable throughout it.
I hated
She
it.
was-
I'm not an off-roading girl,
So
sorry.
we were on quad bikes, different quad bikes, and everyone was like sort of playing in the mud, and they were really having fun with the quad bikes. And I look back, and Mindy is riding her quad bike like this is the biggest responsibility she's been given is to take care of this quad bike. It cannot be hit by a rock. But babe, it's equipped. It is made
Its sole purpose is to hit a
a
rock.
rock.
Yeah, I thought it would be really fun for me, but I've just realized I it's not fun for me.
He's
So-
better with scooties than with quad.
God bikes.
I had a lot of fun. I'd do it again.
So anyone going to Bali, hit Mehak up for quad bike rides. She's gonna accompany you.
Yeah. No, but they'll also have to pay for my tickets. to
Yeah,
stay.
perfect.
Yeah, I'm a great ATV quad bike company. Anyone listening?
We went to this restaurant in Ubud, and it was really mystical and very like interesting.
It was basically tarot theme.
Yeah, it was.
As
Dude, I was building up to it. Can you not give it away like that? Oh my god. Yeah, like when you enter, there's this. What was that thing? Merlin Baba. Where you make a wish.
Jesus.
Oh.
No,
It wasn't Jesus. It was just
that was
where you put your
Jesus.
hand inside and make a wish. There was a ball inside.
Have to just say now that there was a
Yeah,
crystal ball.
Yeah, there was a crystal ball. You could put your hand inside and then make a wish. and then there were a lot of these little diaries that were, or books that were kept, and you could play around. You can open the
That
book
was the
and
waiting area.
that was just the waiting area. You can open the book and whatever comes, there's a message for you and then a number. So then you go to another rack and you get that leaflet out of the drawers and you can read the message for you. So it was really fun. And then they also had meals customized according to what tarot cards you pull. So you could choose like a 3 pull or a 6 pull or whatever, and then
7 pull.
a 7 pull, and then your meals would be customized according to the card spread that you get. So that was another interesting place that we went to. It was very pretty also,
Very pretty.
and there was Shanti Priya ki Lash wala Jhumar also there.
There was this huge ass chandelier which reminded us of Om Shanti Om.
Dude, another place that I really want to shout out is La Favela. It was
Yeah.
such an amazing party night there,
But
and
I
that was a
also-
Monday.
That was a Monday. And even if you go sober, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Like we went sober and like it was super fun. But I also feel there were those 3 people. They were the warmers.
But even the warmers have to keep warming the party up, and they were doing a really good job of
Better
warming
than
it
Fins.
up. Definitely better than Fins.
Fins just gave me the ick, bro. Like I don't know why I didn't want to enter that water. And we are divers. We swim in the ocean.
Yeah.
Like that's cool, but just the Fins water gave the ick. The germaphobe in me really
hated it.
hated it. Came alive.
Yeah, dude. It just, all of these pool party waters now, it just
Yucky.
feels disgusting. And I have done a pool party before. That was back when I was 22 or something. Yeah. And this was in Budapest. There was this party. It was a spa plus party.
Yuck, I can't
And-
even.
And I was just thinking,
But you enjoyed it back then.
I enjoyed it a lot, and that's what I was thinking, that if I had to do it again today, I don't think I'm gonna sign up for that experience. We did a very like balanced lifestyle trip.
We went for Pilates and bar class at Maja, which was also very commercialized only. We didn't drink the matcha over there, but we found that very nice cafe, secret spot
Oh yeah,
that had great food.
Secret Spot had good food. We found a lot of good cafes. You guys
yeah.
can comment or DM us if you want a list of all the places that you can, all the vegetarian friendly places.
Or like
And-
just if you're taking a girls trip, hit us up.
And we also tried to go shopping in Bali.
That
But
was pointless.
very pointless.
It was just Thailand stuff, double the price.
Again, I feel like that was also catered to audiences white audiences and audiences who would either come to Bali or go to Thailand in one trip. Like they're not gonna be doing both. So if they're
and you
here,
never see backpackers shopping at these places.
exactly. So it's just these people who've come and they don't even know that this costs like 1/10 of what they're selling you
Yeah.
at.
But there were a few places that were selling good handicraft stuff. Bali, that white people sell, that you change your life and you cut off from the world and like you'll have a completely different experience. I don't feel that's the case. I think there are far culturally richer and even naturally more beautiful places,
Than
and
Bali.
no comparison when it comes to nature's beauty.
I like how you're trying so hard to be politically correct, but failing after every 2 sentences and still keep trying. But yeah, if you want to start your initiation into spirituality
As a white
person, then it does make sense.
has
Like,
no-
it's not intimidating to do it. Because as Indians, we've grown up seeing so much spirituality around us. I'm not saying like we are
No,
spiritual
even
people,
when we travel, like when we went to Ladakh, there
Yeah.
are certain places, even if it's not religiously relatable to you, but these places have a certain amount of power, which like sort of stirs something in you. But most of the spiritual places in Bali, in quotes, just felt like a
tourist
tourist place. While you're planning, okay, No shout out to ChatGPT.
Oh shit, yeah. How did
We could have
get the
saved
makeup?
a few $1,000 if we wouldn't have blindly followed ChatGPT while planning our trip. So it came up with the most messed up itinerary that one could come up with, where like we were traveling from one area to the other and then traveling back to that area, and like these travel times were really hectic. And as we said that we didn't like really figure our trip out before we were on that trip, so we were just taking it as it comes. And while we were experiencing it, we had made a few bookings, so like hotel bookings were made, so those couldn't be changed. But the travel, ChatGPT really messed it up for us.
So exactly, like I'm sure you guys are not as stupid as us and are gonna completely rely on whatever ChatGPT tells you. But just another warning: if you're going to Bali, of course use GPT. It will help you with a lot of things, but
Don't rely.
yeah, take it with a pinch of salt. Do your own research with routes, especially when it's suggesting you to go from Ubud to say Seminyak one day. Like, see if it makes sense for you to do that with your itinerary and all.
Like we could have completely avoided the taxi mafia thing and the harassment of coming back to the mainland from Giliti if we had just planned better, where we
Time
would have
before,
kept a few
yeah.
buffer days after Giliti.
And before our flight, like probably do Giliti in the middle of your trip or maybe in the beginning of your trip. So we went to this place which is apparently very famous, Potato Head, and it just felt like, and probably
Puja pandal.
we were late too, but it's just that it felt like a puja pandal. We were just thinking that the pandals in Calcutta are more creative than this. So a lot of places might be overhyped but not worth your time. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to us for an experience we created for ourselves, where the day we reached Ubud, we wanted to take it slow and we watched an Indonesian movie.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we just had pizza in our hotel.
We had
and
leftover pizza.
and it's just beautiful when you're having leftover pizza with a very weird flavor of like this Coke can we had picked up from the Thai airport lounge. And then we were
But
watching.
Bangkok lounge was too good.
Yeah, it
we
was
didn't
stunning.
have much to eat.
And we didn't have much time to
Time
explore
also.
it also, but the lounge was great. And then we watched a movie, and we need to tell our audiences about that experience, the place that we saw in the movie.
Yeah,
And,
that club. So basically, we saw a club while we were watching the movie, and it was a proper. If you're Bollywood fans, you should check out Indonesian content.
Yeah.
Because it's lovely. They talk about Kismat and all that, and then it's a little bit Kabir Singhi also. So then the guy that she was supposed to marry. So it was a love story, and the guy she was supposed to marry, but wasn't in love with, shouted at her at a nightclub, and then after Potato Head only, I think
We were just exploring places.
We were just exploring places. We were walking on the streets of Canggu, and then we entered this club, which looked decentish. I will not comment whether it was decent or not, but it was the same club where the shooting had happened.
And it was such kismat, like
That was
it was
kismat.
almost like we were led to, nothing happened at that club to either of us to change our lives for the better, but it just felt very serendipitous, whatever, serendipitous. Serendi. And I was also doing these little vlogs which Meg was also a part of in Bali.
Dude,
Which
we
were really
so-
fun,
if
you know,
if you
for
can,
my
like,
audiences.
if you can figure, we were doing 3 to 4 activities a day. We had hectic travels. We were traveling from place A to place B. If you're getting 2 hours of time in the car, sleep. But ma'am will whip out her phone
And not let anyone sleep either.
and start vlogging.
But these were literally like 30-second vlogs, okay? You were not gonna sleep for 30
Vinny, you
seconds.
uploaded 30-second vlogs.
There-
There's a
there-
lot
that
of BTS footage.
There's no proof of that.
Because you deleted, you don't have space on your phone.
So I think it was a very happening trip in that we were very present in the entire period. Like we were very present and very in the moment, and that's a win for overthinkers like us who are constantly either thinking about what had happened in the past or what's gonna happen after the trip is over. So I think that was a major win, and maybe that's the aspect of spirituality Bali brought about in us.
We needed this trip.
Yeah.
So Bali served the purpose it had to serve.
And maybe that's the charm of Bali. That's what people
You'll get what
fall
you
for.
need.
Wow, we just discovered that.
Just discover the spiritual side of Bali.
While dissing the spiritual side of Bali, who would have known the irony? Look, it's just happening.
Now, this is the dichotomy we live in. Now imagine, how do these two people take decisions?
That's the thing, right? These two people don't take decisions. They just leave. And then they let things happen.
Thank you for tuning in.
If you love our weird ramblings, do rate and follow us on Spotify.
Show us some love on Instagram. The handle is @thenumdumpod. See you next time. Bye.